Thank you, Dr. Vinita. Are my slides visible?
Yes.
And I'm audible?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, AIOC and Dr. Vinita, for having me here in this wonderful IC on biometry, which is an important aspect of phacoemulsification surgery. Now, we know that cataract surgery has become equivalent to refractive surgery because of high patient expectation and because of improved um, uh, modalities of IL power calculation. And we understand that biggest and strongest factor in giving good results to patient is good IL power calculation. However good surgery you do, if there is problem in IL power, your patient will never be happy. And that is why we need to optimize our factors while calculating IL power. So till now we have understood that in normal eyes, we use various IL calculation formulas. There are various factors which are and variables which are brought together to make an IL power. Now, keratometry, axial length, and some of the formulas also use ACD and lens thickness. Now, there is one important factor which is effective lens position, which is the position of lens behind posterior curvature of cornea. The problem is that it is an assumption. Why? Because it is said that short eye produces shorter effective lens position and longer eyes, they will result in deeper effective lens position. The anterior and posterior segment of human eyes are often not proportional. So this is just an assumption. Another important thing is that it is assumed that flat K readings will result in a more shallow effective lens position, which might not be always true. Therefore, this is an important limitation of IL power calculation formulas. Now, when we talk of various lens constant which are available with various formulas, like for SRK regression, we have A constant. In Holiday, we have surgeon's factor. In Hoffu's Q, we have PACD. So the iron manufacturers, they suggest a working lens constant based on the type of lens, some studies, and whatever experience previous researchers had. It is a good idea to start with that. But the problem is, can these be generalized for all? Obviously not, because all eyes are not same and all surgeons are not same. So what to do in such a scenario? We need to optimize each and every component of IOL power calculation. So surgeons must personalize their own A lens constant to give a specific formula for themselves, which can be used in their own clinical practices to give best of the results. So now let's talk about keratometry optimization. Now should have maximal keratometry accuracy, because we understand that keratometric errors, they lead to 1:1 correlation with refraction post-operative period. So we need to have a single instrument, as Dr. Vinita emphasized, that we need to check and recheck. If there is any doubt, we need to recheck the keratometry readings and always use a single instrument. Another important factor is that ensure that it is properly calibrated with the spheres available with the machine, and if there is any problem, call the manufacturer and get it calibrated nicely. Another important thing is, suppose you have a keratometry mirrors which are not reliable, put a drop of lubricant and do it again. And if there is any doubt, don't forget to get a topography, because sometimes you might see some subtle hidden things which are there, like forming crustic keratoconus. Next comes to axial length optimization. Now, this is single and most important cause of incorrect IL power. Now, ultrasonic A scan is now actually, sorry. So if we see that ultrasonic A scan biometer due to variable corneal compression and because of issue of accurate angulation, they are not very reliable. So immersion A scan biometry is unquestionably a more reliable method because of no corneal compression, and when used with Prager shells, that gives very good results. But if we want to have precision in biometry, optical biometer is the answer. It uses short wavelength light source, as we know, and it increases the accuracy by 5-fold when compared to ultrasound. Moreover, it has been seen that optical biometer accuracy is at the level of 0.01 millimeter in comparison to immersion, which is 0.1. Still, we have so many patients in which optical biometer is not possible. And then immersion is the answer in such patients. Now coming to another very important factor, which is A constant and which needs to be optimized. Optimization is a process of finding the specific value of a lens constant that is specific for the surgeon and for the IOL. So it is a sort of retrospective calculation in whatever data we have available with us. So we need to collect data. If you can collect a data of good number of patients, obviously the results will be good. But practically, if you have a data of 25 to 30 patients, for one single lens, it is also very nice. So the key elements are you should have a preoperative keratometry, axial length, IOL power which is used, and then stable post-operative refraction. Then there can be certain outliers, like sometimes you might be having a posterior capsular plaque, or you might be having posterior staphyloma, undetected silicone oil, or you might be having post-operative CME, which might lead to hypermetropic errors. So we need to exclude all these things while we are taking our own data. So let's see an example. How can we do this? We suppose we have our mean keratometry of 44.25 and axial length of 23.4. And A constant for the lens which we have implanted is suppose 118.0 and IOL power implantation is 21. So what if, and what is the post-operative refraction? It is minus 0.5 diopters at spectacle plane. So we need to convert this post-operative refraction into refractive error at IOL plane. And if we remember our basics, it needs to be multiplied by a factor of 1.25. So now the refractive error is at IOL plane is minus 0.625. So what we need to assess, what should have been the ideal IOL power, which should have been implanted inside the eye, is equal to actual IOL power plus refractive error at the level of IOL plane. So here, what will be the actual IOL power? Ideal IOL power should have been 21 plus, and mind you that we need to mention this sign, minus 0.625. So that equals to 20.375, and this should have been the lens which should have been implanted inside the eye. So if we remember the SRK2 formula, this was the IOL power, minus A minus 2.5 AL minus 0.9 K. So this is the standard formula. So from this formula, if we can put the value of ideal IOL power, we can get an ideal A for which is customized for the surgeon itself. So A is the A constant, ideal power plus 0.25 AL plus 0.9 K, and that comes to 118.69. So now the A constant for that particular surgeon is 118.69. So this is the method by which we can do, but it seems a bit complicated and lots of calculations are involved. Another method is Aristotle's method, in which what you do is you calculate the prediction error, that is the measured value minus the predicted, and take average prediction error for a sample of 100 eyes. But again, here we need to add 0.1 diopter for 1 diopter of 0.1 diopter of hyperepic error. We need to add 0.06 in Holiday and 0.12 for SRKT. This is another complicated method. Best method is to go to the website, and each IOL is having lens constants optimizer. Feed in your data and you get all the details. Another option is you can go to doctorshill.com, where you can again feed in your data. If you don't want to do all this, you just enter it in Excel spreadsheet and call the person who is dealing with IOLs. All the companies, they are having people who can optimize your IOL. Just give your data and they will get the A constant for you. So another important thing is optimization of surgical technique. We should optimize each and every steps of ours so that we can have good control on our steps and good post-operative results. Important thing is capsular rhexis diameter. If you have a larger rhexis which is not covering the optics, the lens keeps popping out, and that will change the effective lens position and resulting into change in effective lens power. So we should have a rhexis rule of good centered rhexis which is covering the IOL optics equally. So to conclude, I will say that we need to minimize each and every variable which is there in IOL power calculation formulae. Verifying each and every measurement is very, very important. We should rely either on immersion ultrasound or optical coherence biometry. We should track our refractive outcome and subsequently optimize the lens constant. And we should also try to optimize our surgical technique.